Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked where I climb the online VGC 20 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. In the last couple of episodes, we featured the first two hidden ability starters in Rillaboom and Cinderace, and today we are featuring Sniper Intelleon. This team was sent to me by Filippo on Twitter, so thanks to Filippo. I'll link his Twitter in the description below, and it is really cool. We haven't used Gmax Machamp yet on this channel as well, so it doubles as a Gmax Machamp team, but basically what you can do is you get focus energy off with Intelleon with Scope Lens, and your crits basically happen every time. As a result, you're also doing more damage because of Sniper, so if Intelleon's able to even get a single focus energy off, it's really able to potentially sweep through teams. But of course, Machamp can also increase Intelleon's crit rate if we want to max the Machamp through max fighting, and then Togekiss with Super Luck can also double down from Machamp increasing the crit ratio. So, rest of the team, relatively standard stuff in Incineroar, the Tsareena, which we used a little bit previously with Blastoise, and then Imprison, Trick Room, Chandelure to stop opposing Trick Room setup. So, you know, this team is relatively fast. Of course, you can get even faster if you Dynamax Intelleon, go for max Airstream. So I imagine often the setup you want to go for is like Fake Out with Intimidate to get the focus energy off, or Follow Me with Togekiss focus energy, then get a free switch in and start just critting everything. So hopefully we can get some crits today. Thanks to Filippo once again for the team. If you want to try it out, as you see, the code is on the screen as well as in the description below. And as always, if you guys enjoy, please share your support by leaving a like. I'd really appreciate it. With the DLC coming up in 2 weeks, and with us having gotten even more information from it just a couple of days ago with the trailer, I'm curious what you think from the DLC will change the metagame the most. I think Metagross is a Pokemon that I thought will have a lot of impact because of an ability to Dynamax, Bulldoze activating Weakness Policy, and Metagross just having such solid typing, so I expect that to be a top contender. I think Politoed, as we saw, will make Rain a lot more relevant as well. Talonflame, I think, is a pretty interesting pick as well, and, you know, reintroduces a lot. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and let's get into it. Pretty standard team for our first opponent today. It's all Pokemon we've seen. You know, definitely kind of trends towards what the meta's been like more recently. So I'm going to try to bring Intelleon as much as possible today. I think Machamp is actually not bad here as well. So the tricky thing here is, like, I feel like Tsareena is super good because of the sand mode. Like, I could really bring all 6 of my Pokemon in this matchup, and that's always, like, both a good thing and a bad thing. The other thing is the fear of Trick Room going up, right? Should my opponent just lead Dusclops? But I think because I have Chandelure on my team, they should expect me to go with, like, try to imprison them. So, as a result, I think they'll lead something to try to beat Chandelure. So, I would love to just get focus energy off on turn 1. So I'm thinking of leading Togekiss and Intelleon. I think Tsareena is pretty solid in the back. For the last one, I'm honestly leaning towards Machamp. Yeah, I mean, the fighting coverage is just incredible. I guess if we're bringing Machamp, I still want Tsareena, yeah, because otherwise I think the Primarina is a pretty tough matchup. So, yeah, first time playing with this team, so let's see how it goes. Also, I'll be streaming from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern time today. So by the time this video goes up, we'll probably already started streaming, but hope to see some of you guys there. As I mentioned, I am streaming regularly on Twitch now. I have a schedule, so Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So hope to see one of you guys in a future stream. It's going to be Primarina and Conkeldurr, which honestly I am okay with. Because I think what I do here is just a simple follow me and focus energy turn 1. Yeah. I think that's a relatively free setup. The Primarina might Dynamax, but you have to double up onto the Togekiss to get a KO. And then once essentially I think I should be trading Togekiss here for Focus Energy, and potentially one turn of Dynamax, because you can't just hit KO the Togekiss here. So, should I get the Focus Energy off, then our crits become 100% with Scope Lens. We get a free switch in as well. Conkeldurr actually helps to switch out, which makes some sense, into Dusclops, okay. So, that's okay with me. He's going to frisk the Babiri and the Scope Lens. Let's see if the Primarina maxes. If it maxes and it goes for Geyser, it's just going to set up the Rain for me, which means I can just Geyser the Dusclops for a KO this next turn. Also, I'm pretty sure Max Geyser doesn't even KO the Togekiss. So that would be, like, the ideal case. Because if Rain goes up and we get the focus energy off, I'm pretty sure a crit Max Geyser should just one-shot the Dusclops. That would be super satisfying to see. Okay, so this is a pretty good setup turn 1, because Prim maxing here isn't too much of a concern. Alright, so Intelleon gets the focus energy off. That is a sick animation, by the way. Oh my goodness. Okay. Max Overgrowth. Oh wow, okay. So was just trying to clearly snipe the Intelleon. but doesn't get it off there. Okay, so that sets up the Grassy Terrain. I can definitely respect that play. I think what they might have been expecting was me to Dynamax the Togekiss and go for like a Max Airstream. The problem here is that Grassy Terrain is set up, so I might still have to follow me this next turn. What I'm leaning towards is just follow me, Dynamax, and Geyser. But I don't know if that's enough to KO the Dusclops. The follow me is super obvious here, right? So like, do they go for it? Because I could get a little bit greedy and just double up onto Dusclops immediately with damage. Oof. I honestly really do want to double up onto the Dusclops. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to Air Slash Max and Geyser. I just don't know my Scopelands and Intelleon calcs super well. And I think because I went for Follow Me last turn, they're going to respect it this turn. But if I were on my opponent's end, I think I would actually probably Max Overgrowth and Trick Room, saying, okay, I either KO the Intelleon or I get Trick Room up. So, I don't know. Of course, Prim could also Protect here. Should it Protect, I think that would just be game over instantly. Because we should KO Dusclops with the double up. Okay, so they don't Protect. We get the Geyser off. I wonder if this just one-shot. No, it didn't. Okay, so my assumption was correct in thinking it wouldn't KO. Okay, so we get the crit there. Does 90%. Air Slash should finish it off here, as long as we don't miss. Yep. And let's see if they went for another Overgrowth. Okay, we KO'd the Dusclops, good. Even if we lose the Intelleon, it's honestly not the end of the world, and they go for Starfall, perfect. Yeah, that's what I was expecting into Intelleon, actually. Okay, interesting. Ooh. Wow, I thought that was a crit, honestly, but nope. Intelleon's just that frail. Okay, so the Overgrowth obviously would have one-hit KO'd us, but my opponent was basically covering for the option of Follow Me, saying I'll get guaranteed damage onto the Intelleon. But Tyranitar comes out, so I mean, this might just be an Intelleon sweep at this point. Because there's pretty much nothing stopping me from going for Follow Me here. And don't forget, we have Tsareena in the back, which deals, and Machamp, which is like super, super good for us right now. So I think here I'm just going to go for a Follow Me. Prim is probably going to KO the Togekiss. Ooh, we could Quake here. But I don't know if that KOs. I'm just going to go for the Geyser to play it safe. Like, the safe play for my opponent's end is to protect a Tyranitar. Yep. But there's no reason for me to go for another play, I think, because like, the Follow Me is always just going to make sure that I'm protected from the Primarina. I could have, like, Max Quaked into the Primarina instead of Geysering, but I don't mind. Because the thing here is, if I don't target Tyranitar and it actually Rock Slides, then we lose both Pokemon, which is super bad. So, risk versus reward-wise, like, I think this is fine to go for, because what happens now is my opponent's Dynamax also ends. I get a free switch into the Machamp. My opponent's, as my opponent's Dynamax ends. Like, Weakness Policy being activated doesn't really matter here because we're so fast. So, this is pretty much the perfect Intelleon setup. Yep, and Starfall comes out. I don't even know if this KOs, but with Life Orb, it might. Let's see. Yeah, it picks up the KO. But, honestly, I don't mind getting knocked out there because it means a free switch in for us. Yeah. So, we can just bring out... Would I rather bring out Machamp or Tsareena right now? I think Machamp is probably better. Although I don't know how fast the Tyranitar is, I guess, which is my one concern. But we could always Airstream to get around that. I'm going to bring out Tsareena. Yeah. So what I can do now is, I actually have a bunch of options. For example, what I want to do is just go for the Max Airstream onto the Primarina. Let's see. So we have our boosts. Rain is still up. We know Tyranitar protected, so like a Power Whip into that slot's pretty free. I could really easily go for Power Whip onto Tyranitar and Max Airstream onto the Primarina, which might just KO. Yeah, we get a speed boost from that. I guess the speed boost isn't super relevant, though. I just don't know if Power Whip one-shots the Primarina. You know, alternatively, I'm running out of time here, but I think the better play would have been to Max Quake into Tyranitar, get the Spadef boost, and Power Whip into the Primarina. Tyranitar actually opts for the double Protect, okay. Because I don't think the Max Airstream one-hit KOs here. Never mind. Intelleon's insane. Nice. Wow, dude, this was a perfect Intelleon game. So Basically, I thought that even if I lost Intelleon, trading it for Dusclops in this game was worth it. Like, even if the Primarina did end up going for Max Overgrowth that turn, the thing is that I have Togekiss, Tsareena, and Conkeldurr, and my opponent has Tyranitar, Primarina, and only one more turn of Dynamax and Primarina. Tyranitar, Primarina, and Conkeldurr, and I think we have a pretty favorable matchup because we're faster, basically, which is why I really wanted to deny Trick Room in this matchup, because I think if Trick Room goes up, we have a very tough time winning, because we didn't bring the Chandelure setup. So, yeah, now we can just go for Power Whip, and Air Slash. I wonder if Conkeldurr respects the... Yeah, it does. Okay, let's get the Air Slash. This probably just one-hit KOs, right? No, okay, so he's... Assault Vest, though, I guess. But, I mean, that was super satisfying. Like, the Intelleon basically swept the entire team. So that's the exact kind of setup you want. I think Machamp, honestly, would have been super good in this game as well. But, yeah, that's exactly why I didn't lead Chandelure, because I basically figured they wouldn't lead Dusclops. To lead Dusclops into a team with Chandelure in Team Preview and Best of 1 is always, like, super risky. So I kind of just, like, made the call out saying, I don't think you're going to lead Dusclops outright. If they did, things actually could have gotten pretty tough, because we didn't, like, we can't KO the Dusclops until we get a Focus Energy off. But, yeah, I mean, I think that goes to show just how strong Intelleon can be should you get the setup up. But, as you saw, Intelleon is super frail, right? We took, like, a regular Life Orb stab boost attack, and we took, like, 90% health from that. So, you have to be really careful, because Intelleon can very easily get KO'd, but pretty happy about that one. Okay, next game here, a really kind of, like, slow, bulky team. Once again, more Trick Room setup with Dusclops. So the question is whether I make the call out again and don't lead Chandelure for the second time in a row. Because, like, Chandelure's not amazing in this matchup, other than its matchup against Dusclops. But I guess the question is also, how good is Crit Intelleon? The answer's not terrible, right? Because we have Max Quakes for Spadef boosts. Honestly, Goodra is the main Pokemon I'm looking at right now that I'm slightly concerned about. Because we don't have great damage, because we have Water, Flying, Ground on Intelleon, so no Ice. So even with the crit, like, if we're maxing, we're not doing too much. I have to really respect the Trick Eject Button stuff as well. I'm honestly still thinking of leading Togekiss and Intelleon. And I think I definitely want Machamp in this game for Dynamic Punches or even potentially maxing into Goodra. And I'm thinking Incineroar, because if Trick Room goes up, it's actually not too bad, because like Machamp and Incineroar are pretty dang slow. Chandelure doesn't do much damage, Incineroar offers me Fake Out Pressure, and Tsareena is only using High Jump Kick here. Yeah, so I think I'm going to go with these four. We're going to go with Togekiss and Intelleon again, and I would like to max the Intelleon, but I do think that, I think it's going to be kind of hard to do that if Goodra comes out, especially if Goodra comes out as a lead. However, one thing we can potentially do, should Goodra come out as a lead, is go for, like, just follow me, Focus Energy, and then start max Quaking, and then stall out the Dynamax. Okay, so it's going to be Excadrill and Grimmsnarl, okay. I don't mind that too much. I mean, we've got the Babiri on the Togekiss as well. So let's see. It's Mold Breaker, which isn't surprising. Like, there's so many options I have. I'm worried about, like, just trick into Togekiss to steal the Babiri away. I also kind of expect him to commit the Dynamax early here. You could also trick into Intelleon. Part of me just wants to hard switch into Incineroar here. But then the question is what I want to do with Intelleon. Honestly, I don't mind double switching here too much. Like, even though I feel like we have a favorable lead, the threat of Fake Out, Thunder Wave, and Trick on Grimmsnarl makes me not feel like I have a super safe turn 1 play. And getting an Intimidate onto Excadrill is always good, especially if I can get my opponent to commit the Dynamax this early on. I think that bodes super well for us. So I'm hoping they Dynamax Excadrill. Swords Dance is what I'm worried about right now. That is the one option that this isn't covering, but they're going to max. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I mean, even getting a single Intimidate off against the Dynamax Pokemon is super good. And with Grimmsnarl, I think, like, especially in Best of 1, you just have to play carefully around it. The threat of Trick is just a big, big deal. So, if I can even just bait out a Trick turn 1, that's really good. Because I want to keep the Babiri Berry on the Togekiss as well, because it means that Excadrill will take 2 hits to KO it, basically. And that's a really big deal. But it looks like my opponent just opted for Fake Out onto Machamp. That's fine. And Rockfall, ooh, that ended up working out nicely for them to go around the Babiri. So, job well done there. Fortunately, we do take a lot of damage, but it's not the end of the world. Part of me wants to Dynamax the Machamp, but I mean, Dynamic Punch just does a ton of damage here, right? And we get Confusion off. Faster than the Grimmsnarl as well, okay. Yeah, I'm leaning towards just Fake Out into the Grimmsnarl and Dynamic Punch into the Excadrill. I think you always Rockfall the Incineroar again, because you need a cover for the switch-in option. So, I don't mind going for this. Is it worth maxing Machamp? I mean, Dynamic Punch just does more damage and gets the Confusion off, so for that reason, I want to say no. Okay. So get the Fake Out off. Solid damage, honestly. Yep, they're gonna opt. Oh, they actually opted for Quake. Interesting. Slightly risky because I could always switch out into Togekiss there, but ends up working out for them. The Rockfall was a really nice play, though. I thought Steel Spike was definitely coming out there. For that reason, it might have been better to have swapped Machamp into that slot over Incineroar. So, good play on my opponent's end. But, you know, that's already 2 turns of Dynamax over, and we still have all of our turns. Dynamic Punch still does so much damage there, and we get the Confusion. Let's see if it's Weakness Policy. Nice. No policy either, which is perfect. So this is really great, actually, because there's only 1 turn of max left on my opponent's end. We've got the Intimidate off. I still have the Babiri here on the Togekiss as well. What I want to do now is knock out the Grimmsnarl, I think. He hasn't used Trick. I mean, he didn't use Trick turn 1, but I'm not sure he needed to on turn 1. Either way, though, I think I don't even need to Protect here. I can just go for a Dazzle. And I mean, I'm definitely maxing. Am I maxing Intelleon? Because I'm still thinking potentially we might want to max Machamp. Or even Togekiss, actually. I just wish Max Machamp did more damage with Chi-Strike. That's the only problem. Yeah, I think I'm going to just go for the KO here onto the Excadrill. Just because, like, Grimmsnarl's not really doing too much to me right now. See if he does have Trick. Nope, he just goes for Reflect. Okay, that's fine by me. Reflect is actually, like, the best thing to see because it means no Thunder Wave coming out either. If Excadrill hits itself in Confusion here, that'd be super clutch. It does not, but it gets Steel Spike, and that's fine. And, of course, the thing about critting is that we can ignore Light Screen should my opponent want to set that up. So we've effectively stalled out our opponent's 3 turns of Dynamax. We haven't even Dynamaxed yet, and they have Grimmsnarl out on the field. Ideally, what I'd like to do is probably Protect Togekiss, switch Machamp out into Intelleon, and then go for a... Good damage with Dazzling Gleam there, too. And then go for a Focus Energy, I think. But I'm still considering the option of maxing Machamp. Because what maxing Machamp allows us to do is start critting with Togekiss more frequently, and those crits can be really helpful against something like Goodra in the back. And the other reason to actually potentially max Machamp, other than just for the sake of showing max Machamp off on YouTube, is because it is able to set up Intelleon, and like Intelleon doesn't necessarily need to max. Of course, it does a lot more damage once you're max, but if we get the crit ratios up, then our Air Slashes and our Snipe Shots are doing so much damage. Togekiss comes out, though, okay. Togekiss coming out makes me really want to just max the Intelleon. I think they Light Screen here and Dazzling Gleam, which I guess is actually pretty problematic here. Actually, there's no point in protecting, right? Because my Togekiss is surviving anyway. I think I do have to max my Intelleon. So I'm leaning towards... And we can crit more frequently with Stone Edge. So I'm leaning towards Stone Edge Dazzle. Yeah. Like, the Dazzling should still KO the Grimmsnarl here. Oh, they're actually not for Thunder Wave and not Light Screen. Okay, I think that's okay. So it's going to be scary if we don't get this off, though, because it means they could potentially go for... And the Dazzle comes out. Yep, not surprising there. Okay, Machamp hangs on. We get crit on Machamp. Get the Stone Edge off. Might have been better to have gone for Confusion there. Good damage, though, honestly, through Reflect. And we get Dazzling Gleam off. Okay, that's really good, because now actually we can just Bullet Punch, I think, into Togekiss to KO it. As we crit the Grimmsnarl. Okay. Yeah, we still haven't even maxed yet, so that's also good. The only fear is getting fully paralyzed this next turn. As we should... Yeah, we'll Fame from one more turn of Sand, but I think I'm going to Protect Togekiss here, Bullet Punch into Togekiss, get the free switch into Intelleon. The thing is that a Goodra in the back could still be pretty scary, but... It is Goodra, yeah. Okay, so my opponent brought definitely the best Pokemon into this matchup. I am just going to Protect here, though, I think, and go for a Bullet Punch. Well, what I'm worried about is Togekiss having Protect here on their end, because if they have Protect, then I'm forced to Airstream when I bring out Intelleon. Oh, we get fully paralyzed. Okay, that actually might be a big deal. The paralysis means I cannot redirect more attacks away from Intelleon. So now it's a question of whether Intelleon can handle the Goodra. Is he ups for Thunderbolt? It's probably Assault Vest. So we might lose this now because of that. Oh, it's Life Orb. Okay. Wait, and Sand subsides. I did not count my Sand turns. Never mind, we're good. I should have counted Sand and double-checked that. Yeah, so actually, because of the Sand, if Togekiss didn't have Protect, my opponent, I don't think really had much of a way to win this then. Because now what I can do is, then not being Assault Vest is a really big deal. What I can do is max the Intelleon, go for an Airstream, and a Dynamic Punch. And even if that double up doesn't KO, the Goodra can only KO one Pokemon, right? So we should have this one. So what I did this game was basically say, okay, I need to stall out my opponent's Dynamax because I really thought Goodra would be the Dynamax candidate, but that's exactly, like, I was really happy to see Excadrill Dynamax turn 1 because as soon as you commit a Dynamax, once you're intimidated, you just do so much less damage. And even despite my opponent making that Rockfall play into the Incineroar, didn't end up really making much of a difference. Like, trading Incineroar for basically 2 turns of Dynamax and an Intimidate onto Excadrill was super, super worth it for us in the end. So, yeah, I think, like, had my opponent just gone for like a regular Iron Head or Rock Slide, things could have been trickier, but as soon as you commit the Dynamax, I think it's very much in my favor. Yeah, interesting to see a Life Orb Goodra as well, but obviously it hits significantly harder than Assault Vest does. Okay, so we get that double up. I wonder if Dynamic Punch just KOs here, let's see. Ooh, almost. Yeah, I really thought about maxing Machamp, but it just does so little damage. I didn't think it gave us enough value. Like, that Dynamic Punch to Excadrill did, like, 90%, right? And like, yeah, it did so much, like, confusion damage onto the Goodra here. It allowed us to just pick up the KO. So, this game was basically all about staggering the Dynamax. And, yeah, I think, like, Intelleon just makes, like, a lot of sense to max often with this team because you either get the focus energy off, or even, like, we didn't get the crit there in the end, or the focus energy off, but we didn't need to, because we had already, like, whittled away at our opponent's team so much. So, yeah, didn't get the crits off there, but Machamp, regular Machamp put in a lot of work. Yeah, I just didn't feel super comfortable maxing it in that position. Okay, this kind of feels like our earlier meta team. I feel like I say that a lot nowadays, but the Rotom and the Braviary kind of makes it feel that way, as well as the Jellicent. So, a lot of Sand stuff here, but the Braviary, I think, is kind of a big threat. Maybe we can max Machamp in this one. It's just that, like, Chi Strike being still base 90, I think, is bad. Like, I feel like, you know, Max Knuckles, obviously, damage is reduced because you get attack boosts through it, so they wanted to nerf it a little bit, but I feel like Chi Strike being base, like, under base 100, just makes it tough to justify maxing Machamp. I think the main Pokemon we're worried about here is the Braviary. One mode I'm thinking of, because I'm not sure how likely it will be to get the crit setups in this game. I guess not terribly unlikely if we just lead Togekiss and Intelleon again, though. I don't know, that doesn't seem terrible. Not bringing Tsareena into here seems bad, though, because my opponent has, like, the Jellicent, which I guess is kind of a concern. I don't think Chandelure is ever coming out here, so it's between Incineroar, Machamp, and Tsareena. I feel like I really do want Incineroar. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Incineroar and Machamp. I guess the big question is then, yeah, does, like, Jellicent comes out? Because, like, even if Jellicent comes out, I mean, you know, it's a pretty fast team on my opponent's end. I'm not sure they want to, like, hard force Trick Room, so let's see. Yeah, we could potentially max Machamp. The tricky thing is, even if you max Machamp and you get, like, 1 Chi Strike off, it's not like you're guaranteed crits on anything anyway, which is part of the reason why I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's gonna be Braviary, Rotom, okay. I don't know how good this is. I don't think it's very good, because Rotom obviously really messes us up. But I can't switch in Incineroar. I wish I was really thinking of Intelleon plus Machamp, and I think that would have been pretty solid here. But, because what you could do here is, like, max Rotom, Tailwind with Braviary, and Electric into one of my Pokemon. Or just max the Braviary. This is not really good. Like, we need to KO the Braviary, which is the other problem, right? I don't even know if a double up, like... if Braviary doesn't max, Airstream and Air Slash will KO. See, this doesn't feel good because I'm committing the Dynamax, but my problem is that if I don't Dynamax here and I don't knock out Braviary and it Tailwinds, I think we just lose pretty much instantly. So I got outlet here by my opponent, so job well done on their end. I think the lead I was thinking of was Intelleon Machamp, because what that allows me to do is just combo max Airstream into Stone Edge. But then we're still pretty Rotom weak. The other question is, who are they maxing here? If they're maxing... who would I prefer? I guess Rotom? Okay, Braviary's maxing, so I think we're in some trouble here. The Airstream means we'll at least be able to keep up with the speed and we'll outspeed this turn. But without max Ice here, I think we're not able to really put on too much offensive pressure. Hopefully my opponent doubles up onto like the Togekiss. That has not very much damage at all. Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping my opponent maybe like doubles up on the Togekiss, but the thing is that we need to KO the Braviary before I can even bring out the Incineroar. That was a lot of damage with Air Slash, though. That Air Slash did as much as the max Airstream. He helps for Thunderbolt. Okay, into Togekiss. That's what we want to see. This gives us a fighting chance, then, I think. It's Life Orb. He's going to Airstream as well, okay. Because now, what we can do is bring out Incineroar. I don't really care about activating Define at this point, because I'm pretty sure a Max Geyser will just KO the Braviary. Bring out Incineroar. I mean, we can't bring out Machamp, right? That's kind of like a death sentence. We can pretty easily fake out the Rotom. The play I'm thinking is, do I want to read into Rotom, Braviary protecting and double up onto a Rotom? I'm not sure we're like so far behind we need to make an aggressive play like that, though. Because if I call that wrong, Braviary just dunks on me, right? So like, the play I'm leading towards just play it safe, fake out Geyser here. Even if Braviary guards, like Rotom won't get an attack off, and then I'll trade Intelleon most likely for Rotom in the subsequent turn. Alright, they don't max guard though, that's really good. That's actually so good, because it means we get one last turn of Dynamax too. I'm assuming Geyser KOs here, if not, we're in trouble, but I mean, this is substantially stronger than max Airstream. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's. I felt like I needed to gamble and Dynamax Intelleon in this game. If I don't, I feel like we're just screwed. Because the speed control just gets too overwhelming. Braviary just sweeps through my entire team because, like, Machamp obviously just gets dunked on by Max Airstream, and Incineroar can't do anything, so I needed to distribute damage onto that immediately. So this is a good example of recognizing that the lead matchup is not in your favor and playing to your outs because of that. We have Max Quake, which is interesting. Alright, we could set up or get a Spadef boost. Tyranitar's not really a concern though, right? Because I wonder how much Airstream does. He's probably weakness policy, so I don't want to just Geyser into that. Like, Machamp will also just cleanly take that out. I mean, your play is to just Thunderbolt Intelleon and Rock Slide, right? But we should survive a Rock Slide. So I'm just leaning towards Flare Blitz into Rotom and Airstream into it as well. Yeah. Crit Airstream maybe KOs Rotom? I probably doubt it, but let's see. Yeah, so he didn't protect there, but that's not surprising. Oh, so close. Is that a crit? No, so a crit would have KO'd. Okay. But obviously we don't have the focus energy off, so can't be upset about that. They actually opt for Leaf Storm, which is a good play. Okay. Yeah, guarantee the KO. I'm not sure Thunderbolt was KOing, so I think that was smart. This is pretty problematic because it means a single target Rock Slide into us, and that might be too much damage. A Parting Shot would have been a lot better into Tyranitar here. Yeah, because Rotom was going down the sand anyway. That misplay might have cost me the game, actually. Was it a bladed misplay, though? Because if they... I didn't know how much Airstream was doing there. I just didn't know my calc super well. Let's see if this KOs us. Okay, Incineroar's clutch, it hangs on. We're faster than the Tyranitar, too. Machamp will obviously just one-shot that, so... The main question is what my opponent's last Pokemon is. But a Parting Shot there would have given us full health, would have given us fake-out pressure, and would have allowed us to... intimidate whatever's coming in as well, which I think is going to be Excadrill. So let's see. Champ's out. Yeah, we had this game if I just Parting Shotted there, so that was a unfortunate misplay on my end. I wasn't sure how much Airstream was doing there, and I was worried that Rotom would have enough to survive more turns, but I guess at that point, it doesn't really matter, so not parting shot was a pretty bad mistake on my end. But it's still really not over, because Machamp can actually maybe 2v1 here. Yeah, so I'm going to Flare Blitz, and I'm going to double up into Excadrill here, because we have Bullet Punch, right? So I could also see, like, Tyranitar protecting as he EQs. Yeah, okay, that's what we want to see. I mean, if Excadrill's also not Sash, we just win instantly here. There's EQ. I think we actually... It comes down to whether we call the Protect on Excadrill this subsequent turn. Because... Or if he just hits himself in Confusion, actually. That works too. Or if he's not Focus Sash. All of those work for us right now. But right now, the worst case scenario is he is Focus Sash and he has Protect, which is not uncommon at all. Yeah, so there's the Sash. But we have Bullet Punch, right? Let me think this through. The problem is that if I outspeed Machamp, Iron Head probably just KOs me, right? There's no reason to protect with Excadrill. Yeah, a superpower might just KO Machamp. And then, so the question is, do I gamble off himself hitting him in Confusion? If you don't hit yourself in Confusion and you get an Iron Head and superpower off, I just lose. I mean, Iron Head will end the game right now. So I can gamble on the Confusion, just Dynamic Punch Tyranitar. Because I think superpower might just KO me. Like, I think my opponent's play is Iron Head superpower. And I want to say that KOs. So I'm going to go for the Dynamic onto Tyranitar. Let's see if he hits itself in Confusion. Nice. Woof. Okay, I mean, it doesn't feel good to, like, rely on that, but I think that was our... Oh, he's faster anyway, but he had Brick Break. Okay, so we were fine. If we Bullet Punched, we would have lost for sure. Yeah. So I needed a hope for the Confusion there. That was my win con. But like I said, I think I played the endgame poorly. I didn't know how much Max Airstream was doing into Rotom, but as soon as I saw Life Orb, we knew it was offensive Rotom, right? So if it's offensive, it's normally max special attack, max speed, so an Airstream should do a lot of damage there, as we saw. So what I should have done was just Airstream into Rotom. The Rotom's always T-Bolting or Leaf Storming into Intelleon, so the thing is, even if it hangs on, like, Rock Slide's always coming out from Tyranitar, so... Like, if we parting shot, even if I have... Like, the thing is that it just means Incineroar keeps its Citrus Berry. Or, sorry, the Figgy Berry, which is really important as well. Because it makes that endgame easier to play with. And it recycles me a Fake Out as well. So, we had a bad lead matchup, played out around it, but made one slight misplay. And that's the thing, right? If the matchup... If, like, the Pokemon you brought doesn't match up super well, or if, like, your opponent outleads you, you're often doing more work than your opponent to try to win the game. And... even if all turns but one turn go correctly, that still might not be enough for you to win the game. So we need a little bit of RNG to win this one. Got lucky, obviously, getting that Confusion off finally in that last turn, but do think that was our only option. I was thinking, yeah, I thought, like, I mean, if Machamp was faster than the Tyranitar, like, Bullet Punch is the play onto Excadrill, now knowing that they had Brick Break, but Superpower would have picked up the KO there. So because I was assuming Iron Head Superpower, I think, and assuming me to be faster, I was like, okay, I think the only way to win is the Superpower. But ended up being fortunate that they had Brick Break, because if they were Superpower and they were faster, they would win anyway. So yeah, those are some really fun games though. We only got the crit off, or the crit setup off in the first game, but we were able to feature Machamp a lot, which was always awesome. And hopefully we can Gigantamax it in the future. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to try out the teams yourself. I'm going to be streaming, so hope to see some of you there. If not today, then in future streams. And leave a like if you enjoyed. I'll see you guys soon. All right, peace.